Hi there, I'm Tom from the St Andrews Preservation Trust, and I'm here today to sort of give you a quick walk around our museum in case you haven't had the chance to come over yourself. So the first thing I'll point you towards is the Avon and Terrace exhibition just here. This is how it was built in the early 1900s. Specifically, I'll point you just towards that set of scales just there. So you'll see that they're all in imperial measurements. Back in the day, before the advent of pre-packaged food and so on, you would have to go to your grocer and say exactly what you wanted and how much of it you wanted. And a lot of the time they would measure things out and basically charge you according to that rather than by the product itself. A bit different to nowadays. So this belonged to William Duncan. He was a dentist and, well, he originally a jeweller. And the history behind the object essentially is that it kind of speaks to the way that dentistry evolved in Scotland. So in the same way that you would go to your barber to have minor surgery done, you would typically go to your jeweller to get your teeth done. The reason for this is because they've got the tools to work gold, which are obviously quite hard to smelt, and they've also got the tools that they can carve teeth and things like that. So you can get your weighing ring resized and a tooth wrenched out in the same go. If you just follow me, the next thing that I'll point out to you is just through here into our Chemists. So in here we have a lot of medicines that are not really medicines anymore, they're more narcotics. So going from left to right, we've got some opium tablets just there, which we used as an analgesic naturally. We've also got some syringes here, which we use for cocaine, that was used for addiction treatment. And finally we have an inhaler here, which contains amphetamine, which was used in the same way that you'd have Vicks Vapor Rub. Now obviously nowadays we've kind of learned that all of these substances actually are very, very addictive. Back in the day, obviously, they didn't necessarily know this, or they thought it was a reasonable risk. So they were just available over the counter. You could walk into a chemist and just buy opium if you wanted to, which is kind of crazy when you think about it nowadays. Okay, and if you just come over here, I'll show you this exhibit here, which is the most relevant to this building. I really like this exhibit because it tells us more about how the more things change, the more they stay the same. So for example, if you were to look at the nets, then the knots that tie them together are the same as they are now. The shielding knife down there, I mean, we may have a mechanical equivalent, but again, the basic technology is identical. The floats, again, they're made of glass. We use plastic ones now. It's the same technology. And it's much similar to how in the chemist there you can buy a hairdryer. And again, you can go into any chemist in the land and buy a hairdryer if you want to. So it kind of speaks to the fact that we haven't really changed much as people. You know, it's just the way we live has changed, you know, which is always an interesting thing to consider. And the last thing I'll point you towards is the Cannonball just over there. So this was fired at the castle in the 16th century by the French Navy. A load of Protestant rebels took the castle over, and the regents of Scotland very kindly asked the French king to bombard his castle, which he obliged. This was found under the floorboards here, so obviously it was a stray shot, but we're somewhat thankful for that stray shot, because otherwise we wouldn't have this object here today. So that's a brief overview of the St Andrews Preservation Trust Heritage Museum and Garden. Feel free to come in and have a look at the rest of it yourself. We'll be able to talk you around all of the different exhibits and things. And in general, if you have any questions about the museum, just fire them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.